Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing great. I'm sorry for being away for so long. Um, I think that you have been pretty busy. Me too. So, well, I'm going to try to continue with the subject when we left it. Okay. What I want you to do is I'm going to send you some information. We're going to continue working on how to teach vocabulary as we have been doing so far with the same material that we have been reviewing in the past. Okay. So first of all, we're going to check or review the some information about um, how to teach vocabulary. And this time we're going to analyze some material about sources of vocabulary or the way to teach vocabulary. Okay, so the first material that I want you to review is um, it's Unit 3 from our lovely book that you already know. And okay, in this uh, part is we're going to talk about Unit 3. Okay, and this lesson in Unit 3 it's about classroom sources of words. We're going to review just a list of words and course books. Um, and well, this is a little bit about how we have to manage to teach, or the traditional way that we used to teach vocabulary from a book in a class. Okay, so this is like the traditional way that we do it. Is like, for example, the teacher reads words from a list in a random order, and then the learner had to match the sounds with the written form by ticking the ones that hear. It's like a dictation thing, sort of. Okay, we can then do this with each other or in pairs. Um, the other part is that our students normally, or what we do in class, is to use translation from L1 to L2. And then we use some like fun activities like bingo. This is very traditional too. Another way is to form random lists of words and ask the students how to make connections between words and explain to the classmates, for example, and to construct a story. Okay, so this is like the very traditional way that we use to teach, and this is the traditional way that uh, we plan a lesson. Okay, to cover pretty much everything, but basically how vocabulary taught. Okay, so far, and the other part, and the one that we're going to mainly analyze today is course books. Okay, as we know, I don't know, editorials have spent a lot of money on developing books. I rely a lot on books because I think that they have like a sequence and very thought and very organized sequence or way to cover different topics. So for me, it's pretty easy, right? And as you know, when we are just starting to um, teach, it's very easy to rely on a book that it's already organized based on deep investigations about research about how to teach some topics. Okay, so what we are going to do just give a very quick review about how the book is organized. Like for example, here we see the title, and then we see a topic, and what vocabulary areas that topic can cover, and what kind of grammar is supported by this topic, and that can make us easier to uh, to make the students understand, right? Like for example, at the weekend, what kind of vocabulary areas can we uh, touch when we are talking about a weekend? Interests and hobbies, leisure activities, housework, okay? And normally when we talk about leisure activities and hobbies, we use uh, present simple or present progressive. So here we are covering two areas, grammar and vocabulary, okay? And this is something that you have to be very aware of now that next semester you're going to start lesson planning. So this is like the way that you have to construct um, or the base to construct a lesson planning, okay? For example, doing things. What vocabulary areas can cover? Languages, countries, adult education classes, times, dates, months, money, life changes. And here it's simple present and, for example, can, could, couldn't, plus infinitive, adverbs, one would and like. Okay. So basically, this is like the general idea of how can we uh, just analyze a book to find out what kind of uh, topics we want to teach and how can this material help us to develop that subject. Okay. Mm, then we have some other aspects that we have to take into account when we are like reviewing these kind of materials is like the frequency of words that appear on that. Um, eh, to observe how learnable are those kind of words. Okay. You have to choose. I'm always saying that's why you have to choose a topic and develop the class around the topic. Like, for example, we're talking about daily activities. You have to look for uh, some words that can be related to real life or things that can be learnable or easier to stick on the mind of a student. Okay, and teachability. This is like something that you can explain on hand, not things that are not like very touchable or identifiable. Okay. Mm, things that you can relate, like for example, if we are talking about means of transportation, of course we have to relate boat, boat, bus, car, coach, helicopter, plane, balloon, ship, bicycle, or bike. We are talking about, the same like concept or family words. You remember that we saw something about family words? Okay, and there are more examples here that we can just check to um, to relate with that. Okay, like for example, this is another example when we are teaching about adjectives. What kind of topic can we develop, or what kind of material can we choose to make visible adjectives? This is a good topic. What sort of person are you? Okay, and as you see, there are like, for example, those adjectives that are identifiable when pretty easy in this kind of characteristics. Like, are you usually smiling and happy? Do you enjoy the company of other people? Do you find difficult to meet new people, and so on? Okay, and then we have here adjectives that you can match. That will be like the exercise. Okay, and we have here another example. What kind of exercises can we do? The second part of the material that I'm enclosing is um, how can we develop those vocabularies or those topics, you know? And here, for example, we have opinions agreeing and disagreeing. Um, what kind of expressions of agreement or what kind of expressions of disagreement can you use? And some exercises about that, likes, preference, and interest. This is like an exercise for you to relate, but this is something that you can develop with your students too. And the last part of this material is the example of a textbook and how this is a little bit more complicated. This is not for secondary school students. This is more like for young adults like you. But like, for example, through a reading, how can you first identify some words, and then after that, how can you do something to learn new words and develop reading comprehension? Okay, as you can see, this is the story of Robin Hood. Then we go to the exercise, and the main thing is vocabulary focus, recognizing words related to the topic. Okay, and the story of Robin Hood is about poor people fighting against rich, powerful people and abused government. There are many words in the text related to the law and breaking the law. The words are important for understanding the story. So there are many words that probably are not recognizable for the reader. And the first thing that you have to do is um, like a web map, like for example, on the side of the law, against the law, and you can identify positive and negative. Okay, and as you can see, the words are here like in a different color, like in red. And then just to make sure that you understood, then you have these complete the sentences with word with a box above. And then once that you have the meaning of these words, you know that you can go back to the story and try to understand better. Okay, so this is the material that I'm sharing with you. And now what we're going to do is just, I want you to analyze the material, do the exercises for this week, and put them, send them back on the platform. And next week, we're going to make a more complete exercise, including the topics that we reviewed 2 weeks ago and this one, and try to make like a kind of a lesson plan. Okay, so this is it for now. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for your patience and your cooperation, because you have been um, pending on the assignments, and most of you have been turning in your assignments on time. And I apologize for not having the time so far to grade your activities, but now I think that my administrative work is decreasing, and I'll be able this weekend to check all the all the work that you have been sending and that I haven't checked before. Okay. So if you have any doubts or any comments or anything, remember that you can be in touch through the messages from the platform, or you can email me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay. Thank you. Good night, and stay safe at home. And I hope to hear from you pretty soon. I think that in 2 more weeks we can start talking about like the final project for this semester that we have. I think that we have still like 2 or 3 more weeks, And don't worry, it's not going to be anything difficult. We're trying to integrate some activities in different classes. Of course, mine is adaptable to any other um, subjects that you have. So let's see if we can agree in a product that can be related with some other subjects. Okay. So far this is it, and I hope to see you soon. Stay tuned and be safe. Okay. Bye.